Hello friends, welcome back to Bettina Libre. Today I want to talk about sugar and anxiety. I had already mentioned this topic in one of my previous videos, 5 foods that cause anxiety. If you haven't watched it, I totally recommend it. It's a great guide for those that experience anxiety. So I want to share a little bit of my experience when I have been eating sugar. When I eat sugar, I have noticed that it really has an impact in my behavior. First of all, I will start feeling very anxious out of nowhere, even if everything is fine. Secondly, I will start experiencing automatic negative thoughts, also known as ANTs, which are basically obsessive thoughts. And even my heart rate will increase. My normal heart rate is about 60 beats per minute, and I have noticed that when I eat sugar, it will go up all the way to 85 beats per minute, which is an increase of 25 beats per minute, which is a lot. And this happens just in a matter of a few minutes. In the following days, I will also start waking up with a pit in my stomach. And that sensation of anxiety in my stomach, it's a horrible sensation to have early in the morning. So the solution is just to not consume sugar, right? But that is easier said than done. Since sugar is highly addictive, and it is hidden in everything, especially in all processed foods. The food industry, besides using sugar cane, they also use several processed sugars that they call syrups, that are basically corn syrup, malta syrup, agave syrup, the stroke syrup. All those type of syrups that you read in the labels are processed sugars that the food industry is using to cut costs because they are cheaper than sugar. But their profitability focus is just making people sick and destroying their immune system. All those fake processed foods are added to everything. Yes, to everything. Even foods that they are labeled as healthy foods, like for example granola bars, energy bars, even energy drinks, they are filled with this processed sugars. All those have high levels of sugars that will spike your blood sugar and make you an addict, basically. Why? Because sugar is highly addictive, that it's compared to consuming cocaine. And the thing is that when you consume sugar, the brain segregates dopamine and high amounts of dopamine. And dopamine is the hormone and a neurotransmitter that is related to reward. So those amounts of dopamine create a spike of feeling good instantly. And that is also instant gratification that will last for a few seconds or as long as you are eating your cake or your granola bar or your donut or your energy drink or your ice cream. But after that, you will have a big crash. So that is when the vicious cycle starts because you will want to get more of that feeling good sensation that dopamine is giving you. And the way that you can get it is by eating more and more sugar. I remember that I will have episodes that I will feel anxious and I will look for something sweet, right? I have a sweet tooth, so I will get a cookie and that cookie will make me feel good for some seconds, but then I will want another cookie and another cookie and another cookie, and I will end up eating a whole box of cookies. That will also happen with chocolate-covered donuts. But after having all those donuts, I will have a big crash. So it will be that vicious cycle that I just mentioned, that you start feeling anxious, you eat something sugary to make you feel good, like a reward, like, oh, like this hold me feeling. And then after that, you start feeling that anxious feeling. Then you have the pit in your stomach and you also have the automatic negative thoughts. And besides the addiction that sugar can give you, the increase in dopamine in your bloodstream, it will destroy your immune system because it will kill the healthy gut bacteria that you have in your stomach. So now I try to stay away from sugar all the time, but I have to confess that I am addicted to sugar. Hello, I'm Bettina and I am addicted to sugar. And I can also share one of my last episodes of sugar addiction. It was the birthday of one of my friend's kids. She was 3, she became 3, and there was cake. and for me, birthday cakes are one of my guilty pleasures. So I tried to stay away from cake, but everybody was eating it. And I have had 3 weeks before of not eating sugar. And I said to myself, I'm gonna reward myself because I have been so good by not eating sugar. So it wouldn't affect me as much if I eat a little bit of cake. So I had a little bit of cake, but what happened next was that I went to the kitchen and I opened the fridge and I started eating the cake compulsively. And I ended up eating over the kitchen sink with my bare hand and shoveling cake into my face until I ate half of the cake by myself. So that's a no-no, a big no-no. And it's something that I have to realize, that I have to have a lot of self-control when it comes to sugar, because it will give me instant anxiety. So my recommendation is to stay away from sugar cane and all the processed sugars that I just mentioned. And instead of eating sugar, if you're craving something sweet, first you can eat fruits. You can check the glycemic index of all these fruits. Like for example, bananas have a very high glycemic index. Papaya, mangoes, all these ones that they're very sugary. So like for example, citrus have lower, or berries. And you can also use honey instead of sugar. And the good thing with honey is that besides of giving you that sweet tooth craving, it will also help boost your immune system. And another natural sugar that you can add to your diet is maple syrup, but it has to be natural maple syrup, like extracted from Canada, from maple trees. And most of the time, if it's not in Canada, it will be expensive. So if you buy something that is cheap, a cheap maple syrup, it's probably not the real original maple syrup. And if you can check the label, it will say that it was just cane sugar, water, and colorant. So friends, I want to say that when it comes to anxiety, remember first to check what you are eating. These days, food can be either medicine or poison, so you have to choose wisely. Well guys, that is everything for today. And if you enjoyed this video, you know the drill. Hit the like button, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I will see you until next week. Ciao!